Whose responsibility is it to teach our children? Both of us have to work. But what you're now finding is most of the men are now drawing back and letting the woman carry the burden. How come? But yet you say, I am the man in this house. We can say it with words. But how about our actions? The Bible talks about faith. It says, I can tell you a man of faith by the works that he does. Let's see your work as the head of the house. This is another way not to treat our wife. Treat our wife as a jackass, unintelligent fool that doesn't know anything. We belittle our wives, especially in public. You disgrace her, you slander her in the midst of other people. And then you get her home at night and you say, okay, come on, let's do it. Am I lying? You've already destroyed her morale. You've destroyed her self-esteem outside. Treating your wife as a mouse, squishing her personality, being overbearing, allowing her just to squeak a little once in a while, but not helping her to grow into the person God intended her to be. I talked about the priesthood. The Bible calls her the joint heir of the kingdom with you. The Bible says you are the same in the kingdom, yet you treat her anyhow. As if she's got no brain. She cannot think. She has no brain. When it comes to making decisions, I am the man is what I say that goes. Even though some of us nowadays, we have PhD, we have masters, some people have 2 masters, the man that still doesn't have the same master as you or PhD will still come and say, what? I know more than you. Sir?
Yeah, you're exactly right. But sometimes for the men, I think that it's the reason that they could possibly belittle their wife or be like that towards the wife. Maybe sometimes they're trying to establish a sort of control. Maybe they see when
should I be controlling my wife?
You said it in the head.
Especially if she's out of control.
Brother Michael. Sir, let's say she's not out of control. Let's assume she's not out of control. Should we be controlling our wives? No. She's joint heirs of the kingdom with you. The Bible calls her your helpmeet, not mate. A lot of people tend to say mate. If we go to Genesis and have a look at it, it didn't say helpmate, helpmeet. She's supposed to complement you. And if something is complimenting you, it's not beneath you. And it's not going to be above you. You're at par. But when you treat her as if she has no intelligence whatsoever, you are destroying her self-esteem. You are destroying her morale. You make decisions, you don't consult her as if she doesn't matter. But you forget that whatever happens to you affects the whole family. Whatever decision you make as a man, it affects the whole family. Is that proverb they say, cut your nose to spite your face? Your nose is part of your face. So you can't afford to do that. She is the reflection of you. The Bible in the book of Corinthians describes her as the glory of your head. Imagine you're ridiculing the glory of your head. That's why I say if we understand, then we need not do this. Another way that we treat our wife, you treat your wife as a lion king of the jungle, bowing to every demand, abdicating our leadership in the home, and allowing her to take over and rule. And some husbands are completely dominated by their wife. They live as mouse in their own home. It's wrong. She's not in charge. We just let her get away with it. Oh, she's already doing it, so let her do it. So she now says, okay, you know what? From today, I'm only allowing you to take £5 a week from the money. Why? You're the head, she's not. You are in charge. Don't give the baton to the woman. It's not her responsibility. The book of Exodus and Deuteronomy, it clearly tells us, Moses tells us, it says, the Lord has asked me to do what? To instruct the fathers. To do what? To pass this on to their sons. So the fathers are supposed to do what? Pass the baton on to their sons. It didn't address the woman. It addressed the men. The reign of the home is in the hand of the man. Don't relinquish that onto a woman. Some women might want to take it, I can assure you. Many a times I blame a lot of women because you feel that because they are not doing it, the men are not doing what they're doing, you want to step in and do everything. Guess what? I've seen it happen many times, especially in this society. The man will just leave everything to you and he will do what? He will move back. And that's not what you want. Some people, we talk about equality nowadays. I'm the same as a man. I don't see why anybody... Recently, I heard something in Parliament. I think one of the MPs, she's pregnant. I think she's about 5 or 7 months pregnant, I'm not sure. And she wanted to speak in the House, and she stood for... I don't know how long they say she stood for. And I think somebody observed that, being pregnant, they should have allowed her to sit down and not stand for so long. And she said, oh, I don't expect anybody to treat me any different from the men. Hello, I'm the weaker vessel. That's what the Bible calls me. I'm not macho. And definitely carrying a pregnancy is not easy. So I definitely don't want to be equal with you. Why should I have to carry the burden? Hello, somebody can go out, work, bring me the money, and I'll spend. What's my problem? So why are we fighting for the reins? Because sometimes the men actually want to do that, but we're struggling with them. Sometimes all he's saying is, give me time, I'll put things into place, I will do this. Oh no, you're too slow. Look at so down the road. You start comparing your husband to somebody else. How dare you? If that somebody else down the road is that good, then why didn't you marry him? You bruise his ego. And if there's anything that a man has, is ego. And they don't want you to bruise it. The next one, please. Next one, treating your wife as a golden retriever. You know what a golden retriever is? A dog. Treating as a golden retriever, get this for me, do this for me, rather than as a help meet provided by God. You go and do that one. You do that one. When you're coming back from work, go to the market, get a few things, bring it home, come and cook it. Wife not intended to be your slave. I don't know how many times women must have said that in their homes. I am not your... There's some that will say, you have a question, sir?
Yeah. But earlier you said that you don't need to go out, you don't need to work, you can just sit down. So if we're then providing the what the women providing in the house.
Okay.
So no, I don't know. I'm not trying to argue.
No. You're asking.
Yeah, I'm saying so. Some men might feel as if.
I'll tell
they go
you.
outside, do you
Ideally, what the woman should do, if you have gone out to provide, do you know what actually happened in the Old Testament? The men never actually walked far away from home. They always used to work close by. Or they used to have farms, which was close to the home, or things. They never used to go far away from home. The women were expected to keep the home. And when you're keeping the home, that means basically what? Everything is the way it's supposed to be in the home. The children are clean, they're presentable if there are children in the home. The home is clean because you've cleaned it, you've tidied it. Food is ready. When you have guests or your husband is coming home, the food is ready. But it doesn't mean that you come and start. There's a couple I heard once. Once the husband finishes work and is coming home, you know what he does? Okay, I'm on my way home, start cooking. Do you know that could be in two ways? It can actually be an arrangement to say, don't make my food, I don't want it cold. When I'm about to leave the work or office, I'll let you know, which is a good arrangement. And you can just say, oh, honey, I'm on my way. That's nice. But when you don't have such arrangement and you're like, hey, I'm on my way home. The food should be ready by the time I arrive. Fresh. No microwave. Exactly. Not microwave. What do you expect? There's something in my language that says a gentle word brings good response. Yes. So you don't treat her as a golden retriever. Get this, get that. Because you've earned the money. Fantastic, brilliant. You know something that we also don't do as women? We don't know how to say thank you. We don't know how to say thank you. We're quick to always pointing out when it's not going right. But when he actually does do something right, how many times do we say thank you? Hello? How many times do we actually say thank you? That we make it a point of duty to do what? To say thank you. And thank you will actually go a long way. It will encourage him to do even more. Yes, it's his duty, but that does. How many times do we go into Tesco's or Asda and somebody serves us or Starbucks and they give us back our change and we say, thank you. And that's not even your husband. But we still say, thank you. It's courtesy. So when he does something or he treats you well, what is wrong with saying, thank you? Yes, sir.
Or sometimes we say, thank you enough. Let's say, for instance, you go out and you spend like a lot for my birthday, for instance, and it's really expensive gift, and I just tell you, thank you, right? And that's it. But you know how much effort you've put into that certain thing. And I just tell you thank you once. I go, I'll pack all my gifts and I'm not happy with that. Things like that. So
the attitude.
Yeah, so sometimes I feel you say thank you, but you don't say enough.
Say it correctly. You're right. Because sometimes I actually say sometimes that, there's a saying that says, it's not the gift that counts, it's the thought. The fact that you have thought about that person, you've gone out of your way to give them whatever you will see further down. One of the ways to appreciate your wife or honor your wife is to actually give her gifts. There's somebody in the Bible, he gave gift. And because he gave gift in the book of Acts, they changed his name. His name now become Son of Encouragement. So which means giving gifts actually means what? You're encouraging that person. So when our men get it right, women, please, let's say thank you. It goes a long way.
What if you give gifts that are not appreciated? Then why? Who told you this is what I want?
I don't want flowers.
Please, let me just take some water. You know something? I have a policy. I always, no matter what anybody gives me, I always treasure it. In fact, this blouse I'm wearing is a gift. And the person that gave me is sitting here. I always treasure gifts that people give me. Even if I don't want the gift, I don't like it, I will still take it and I will say thank you. And you know what I'll do? I'll find somebody that will be a blessing to, and I will give it to the person. Because the Bible says it's more blessed to give than to receive. Instead for me to have a nonchalant attitude, we're talking about attitude and behavior and approach. If I don't appreciate that one that you give me today and I rubbish it with my mouth, would you go out next day, sir, and do another one? Sir? Exactly. You will not do that. So we need to appreciate. If somebody is not appreciating your gifts, sir, then I'll say you need to sit down and talk about it. Microphone, sir. Please. There are people watching us, so they need to hear your questions.
I was saying that, like the gifts we're talking about, it's good to appreciate gifts. You know, in the beginning, you talked about the husband understanding the wife. What if your husband knows you don't like this gift, but he'll just bring it and expect you to now be appreciative of it?
Then that he's not living with you with understanding, then is he?
Amen.
I don't want to be personal. The Lord help us. No, don't forget, sir, where we started from is living with our wife according to understanding, knowledge. If it doesn't make her happy, then actually that means you're deliberately going out of your way to make her unhappy. Because you know it doesn't bring her any joy. And then you keep bringing it for her. She's not going to say thank you. The Lord will help us. So that's what I'm talking about, please. I don't know, for the people that is helping me with the slide, is that the last of the slide? Treating your wife as just one of the worker bees rather than as the queen bee. One of the masses instead of that very special and unique one. Do you know you rejected every other woman just to take that one? Especially if you were a playboy in town. You rejected everybody else unless maybe you were tricked into it. Because some people say they were tricked. What did you say, ma?
I said yes.
It's true. Some people were tricked into it. Some people were deceived. If you were anything like Jacob with Leah, we don't know. But some people were deceived. Some people, they went pregnant and they told the man that they are pregnant, and the guy has commitment and he's been told by his parents, according to the book of Exodus, once you get a woman pregnant, you marry her. Honorable thing. And some women I know, we deliberately go out and we do that deliberately so that the man will marry us. But meanwhile, you have carried somebody else's bone. Sir.
Is that sin? Not in terms of because it's a lie, but is that a different type of sin? For you
Sin is sin.
No, but as in, like, if you tell me that is that marriage legit?
That marriage is legit, but let me tell you something. See, he deceived you. Why did you have your trousers down before marriage?
That was true. I forgot.
You allowed yourself to be ensnared. That's what Solomon said in the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs talks a lot about a woman. It talks a lot about the harlot, and it talks a lot about the wife. And it was what was of wisdom from a father to his son. And who is the best person to tell us about women if it's not Solomon? He had 700 wives, and they were all princesses, and 300 concubines, 1,000. Yeah, can you imagine? 1,000. So he must have some experience under his belt. The Songs of Solomon Do you see the way he describes the woman in there? He's talking from experience. So Solomon, when he gives us advice about a woman, at least to a certain degree, we can say he knows what he's talking about. If he's had 1,000 of them. In this day and age, I don't know how he would have coped. But obviously they were using something in those days that was working. Moving on. I said the first thing was what? Understanding. The second one is keeping commitments. One of the commitments you made to your wife when you married her was that you forsake all others and you will do what? You will be faithful to her and her alone. Do you actually know what, if you look in the English law or you look at the definition of marriage, the definition of marriage also says to the exclusion of all others. Marriage means what? Part of it is exclusion of all others. That means apart from the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, there should only be the two of you in that marriage. So your commitment should be to that woman. Why is keeping our commitment and honoring our promises so important? Because we all tend to construct our hopes around promises. When somebody promises to do you something or do you a favor, do you not hold on to it? So when you promise to love me and to cherish me, I hold on to that is what you're going to do all the days of your life. So when we get along the way and you stop doing that, I can't identify with it. Some of us are more clingy than others. Some of us are more independent than others. But the thing is, you made a covenant before God that you were going to be faithful to this woman. You were going to be committed. That means she was going to become the unique one. And everything she wanted, you were going to be there to support her with it. But unfortunately, we don't get that. Could we go to Ecclesiastes, please? Chapter 5. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in... Hello? See what the Bible calls somebody that makes a vow and doesn't keep it? Sorry? I can't hear you, sir. Unto God, not unto your wife. But who was the witness when you said, I do? Yeah, but my question, sir, was, if we make a vow and we do not keep it, what does the Bible call us? Sir?
But you see, I had this discussion with my dad a couple of days ago about, but essentially it says vow unto God. Now, if I marry somebody and I say, because they use God and stuff, like for instance, you don't have to, for certain things you can swear, certain things you can pledge, for instance. If I make a vow, but that vow is not before God, then is that thing still legally binding? Because there's some people that say, oh, I pledge, so, but you don't swear by anything. But with marriage, you're swearing by God. And that scripture says a vow unto God. If it's not unto God, it's just general. Is that thing still legally binding?
It's not legally binding. If you make it spiritually binding, I'll probably say yes. You know why? Because if you're not spiritually binding unto God, you're spiritually binding unto the devil. And I tell you, you make a vow unto the devil, you make sure you pay for it. If you don't pay for it, you will do it with your life. The Bible says it's better not to make a vow than to make it and not keep it. That particular one is talking about if you make vow unto God. You make vow unto God and your marriage was a vow unto God. But you make any other vow. Whose responsibility is it to teach our children?